Hello, I'm just broadcasting live from the Lamert Park Book Festival, also Expo 2020. So I want to share my screen so you can take a look at some of the things that are happening. Just a brief, quick update. I'm touring this pavilion, giving myself a chance to update on developments on the continent, African continent, and then toggling back to the book festival. We have book poetry readings. We have excerpts from various authors, and we have Nikki Giovanni coming up. But first, I want to take a walkthrough of Burkina Faso's beautiful pavilion, which is an eye-opening and wonderful experience and update since my travels to these areas. We're walking through the entrance, and they're showing some of the arts, the crafts, leatherwork, purses, other information, and local items that they want to offer to the global economy. And I respect and appreciate the work. There's nature, there's traditions, there's architecture on display, as well as the continuous walkthrough to see it's not only arts and crafts, but it's also about the people. So for those of the listeners that don't know, Burkina Faso has magnetite, talc, bauxite, precious minerals, calcite, rhyolite, gray, dolerite. And can you guess what that was once known as? Do a quick search. It's in West Africa, landlocked, 274,000 square meters next to Mali. Niger is in the north. Ouagadougou is the capital of Burkina Faso, and the president's name is Roch Marc Christian Kabore. 54 countries on the continent of Africa. Every country in the world has a pavilion, and this is just a brief snapshot virtual tour that makes it so much more safe and convenient to visit these parts in every country in the world during your visit to Expo 2020. So we see a few of the visitors here. We see the wooden symbols, we see the hats, and the other precious offerings from Burkina Faso, which is landlocked West Africa. We see some beautiful videos and listen to some of the music that's also offered during this tour. And again, this is Phyllis, Second Wind Update, just sharing some of my discoveries that are so exciting and interesting and safe thanks to the virtual presentation and access to various countries. We see the thatched roof. We see the clay structures, which is the housing. If you look a bit further, you see it takes a lot just to make it through to see all this beautiful, beautiful culture that's offered. The other quick bite that I want to show you as we quickly go through, there was another wonderful tour that I just took of the Cuba Pavilion. And I want to review that now because it's important, it's significant for those of us that know a little bit of this history. To me, it's quite significant to see Cuba and other countries on display despite current and past events. I learned that Fidel Castro, I believe, gave up his 50,000 acre plantation during his plans to transform the country. And it's all about changes. So we quickly switch from West Africa to the Cuba Pavilion for another quick walkthrough in my episode of Second Wind. You see the culture, a tour through the streets, influenced by the Spanish, as well as the heavy African intent. Cuba, there's a love of culture, there's a love of people. We see this figure of a worker at his desk rolling cigars, and I talk about it in my book. One of my books I just have copies of is Gumbo, Principles of Human Development. And the whole point is that we're all a mixture of people, places, and cultures. And not only can we learn things from touring these pavilions, but also the Lamert Park Festival. And I'll do a quick reading from my book so that you'll know why I keep this work going, because one section of my book talks about why we do it. We want to integrate the scholarly work, the research, and provide university and adult education to uplift and share the elements of human development and get an update, especially during COVID-19. We have concepts and theories, analytical results, but you can see by looking at these beautiful pavilions, we're made up of much, much more. And this gives us a chance to look at the realities that each one of these countries is sharing, as well as the literature contained in my 80 plus books and ebooks on Amazon.com. If you want to buy, if you want to look, search for more, just type in my name, go to the Amazon website, go to the Lulu website. You'll find Gumbo, Principles of Human Development, and more. So we'll continue this quick walk through the Cuba Pavilion. You see they highlight education, you see they highlight natural wonders, the beautiful environment, the beautiful beaches, and what is much, much more is the human quality, the humanity that we share and we want to sustain on this earth, the human quality. So we see the gentleman stamping the passport. You get it stamped for each country pavilion that you visit. You see Oman, you see Pakistan, you can see Afghanistan, and that's what I'm enjoying as I tour the pavilions in between my trips to the Lamert Park Book Festival. And I'll pull that up quickly and see if I can access that as well. The technology is so amazing. I think it's wise just to try to patch in and multitask if possible. So I'm going to flip on over to the Lamert Park Book Festival and check out the next presentation. So we just had readings from the world stage. We have Nikki Giovanni, and I'm going to patch in and check that out now. My sister, the wise, and sharing her latest Make Me Rain with Nikki Giovanni.
When I was a little girl in Indianapolis, sitting on doctor's porches with post-on pre-debs, wondering would my aunt drag me to church Sunday, I was meaningless, and I wondered if life would give me a chance to mean. I found a new life in the withdrawal from all things not like my image. When I was a teenager, I used to sit on front porch steps conversing the gym teacher's son with embryonic eyes about the essential essence of the universe, recognizing the basic powerlessness of me. But then I went to college where I learned that just because everything I was unreal, I could be real. And not just real through withdrawal into emotional crosshairs or colored bourgeois intellectual pretensions, but from involvement with things approaching reality, I could possibly have a life. So catatonic emotions and time-wasting sex games were replaced with functioning commitments to logic and necessity, and the gray area was slowly darkened into a black thing. For a while, progress was made, along with a certain degree of happiness, because I wrote a book and found a love and organized a theater and even gave some lessons, some lectures on Black history, and began to believe all good people could get together and win without bloodshed. Then Hammarskjöld was killed, and Lumumba was killed, and Diem was killed, and Kennedy was killed, and Malcolm was killed, and Evers was killed, and Swerner, Cheney, and Goodman were killed, and Louisio was killed, and Stokely fled the country, and Leroy was arrested, and Rapp was arrested, and Pollard, Thompson, and Cooper were killed, and King was killed, and Kennedy was killed. And sometimes I wonder why I didn't become a debutante, sitting on doctors' porches, going to church all the time, wondering is my eye makeup on straight, or withdrawn, discoursing on the stars and the moon, instead of a for real black person who must now feel and inflict pain.
Now, the book fair is honored to welcome back esteemed poet and author Nikki Giovanni as part of our 14th anniversary celebrating National Book Month. She is a national treasure, and we love her spirit and her talent. She needs no introduction. A distinguished professor at Virginia Tech, Nikki has long used her literary gifts to raise awareness of social issues, particularly those of gender and race. She's published more than 24 volumes of poetry, essays, edited anthologies, as well as 11 illustrated children's books. Giovanni is the recipient of numerous awards and the recipient of 27 honorary degrees, as well as the keys to several cities. We asked one of her friends, Mickey Turner, to chat with her about her work. Mickey is an award-winning journalist and author. She's also the founder of the Annenberg Cross-Cultural Student Association and the director of a university-wide minoring-serving institution graduate school recruitment effort at USC.
Okay. So I'll pause here. You can catch the rest today, all day. It's in honor of reading,
Nikki,
education,
so great to see you, and I'm
and
so
literacy.
happy to have this conversation.
And we're
with you
still
after
here
such a
through
long
the
period of
years.
time.
What a
But
beautiful
first
event.
Of all,
but
we
I'm
need
going
to
to cut
congratulate
my
you on
brief
yet another distinctive honor in your
episode
career,
of Second Wind,
being
and I'll
named
check
the
in with you
writer in
later.
residence
Thank
at
you. Have
Prairie
a
View
beautiful
A&M
day.
A&M
Join us at the
University,
Lamert
the
Park
Toni Morrison
Festival.